Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, all of you. Good morning. How the preparation is going on? Why the
So,
students are so lazy? How much time we will take? Just 1 or 2 minutes we will wait. Let them join. Few more students. And those who had already joined, please prepare for your exam. Don't take it very easy. Take it granted. The month of June is about to over. Now your preparation should be in a full pickup. But we find out that only few students are joining. So it is very tough to explain. Within next month, I'm going to finish the explanation portion of both the subjects. But due to the attendance is very poor, what to do? I can't understand. Students, I will again go for a just quick look of our third chapter, money and credit. We were discussing about it. What is money? What is credit? What is loan? What is demand draft or demand deposit? These are the formal things of this chapter, that is money and credit. Again, but before we start again, I want to remind you that just you call your friends and ask them to join the class. What is going on? We also become very dull by seeing your attendance, what to deal with you, how what to explain, and such type of things. Anyhow, those who are present, be attention and attentive, that we were discussing about money and credit. First, money. Money is a medium of exchange. It is a medium of exchange. generally accepted by everyone,
Morning, sir.
all people.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, it's all right. Good morning again. We had already started and just looking for the previous classes chapter quick, very quickly. Just those who are late, for them, just quick view of our previous class, that is money and credit. What is money? Money is a medium of exchange, and everyone accepts it. The use of money in our everyday life, or in each and every part of our life, is very important. That is called money. It can be a paper note
Or coin.
or coin. These are the two types. One more type, which is equivalent to money, is called demand deposit or demand draft. Especially we use it in banking sector. And for banking sector, one more thing is used as money, that is check. So we will discuss about these things, that what is money and credit and demand deposit and check, this type of things. So modern forms of money, that is called currency. That is called currency. It is a paper note or coins constitutes the modern money. And in our economy, the issue of currency is undertaken on behalf of the state by the Reserve Bank of India. As we know that in our country, nobody can refuse to accept currency in exchange for goods and service. Why we are talking to about our country? In any country, everyone is bound to accept it, whatever the Reserve Bank issues as currency, that is a paper note or coins. So that is about little bit about money. We know that it is very useful thing for our daily life. Everyone is running behind it. In our economics, we used to study different economic activities, and the final conclusion is that what is the motto of that everyone is running behind the money. So students, it is very important thing, remember that whatever we are doing, either we are teaching or in any other profession, a labor to an industrialist, why they are working? Just to earn money.
For money.
Everyone's motto is just to earn money for their livelihood or to just gain profit. Even now you are in class 10, you are, all of you are very good students, and if I will ask why are you learning, what is the motto behind it, what is your aim, what is your target, what is your goal, maximum of you will reply that I want to be an engineer or doctor or an IAS or IPS, something like that. Maybe some of you will go in the sector of business, it may be possible. But ultimately motto of these things, these professions, just concentrates on money in any way, in any form. So it is the very important thing. Now after currency we will see the demand deposits. The deposits in a bank, demand deposit, the deposits, whatever we deposits in a bank, which can be withdrawn on demand. Whatever is there in our bank, that can be withdrawn by our demand. Here is the word demand and deposit. As per our demand, that is known as demand deposits, and bank accept the deposits and also pay an interest rate on these deposits. Why we? The question is why we deposit our money in a bank. What is the reason
Okay.
behind it? We can keep it in our home, but no. Today, everyone,
Everyone is
each and
there.
every person of the country, they deposits, they keep their earning, their money, whatever it is, from 100 rupees or millions. They wants to keep it in banks. Why they are so interested to keep this amount in banks? First thing, yes, it is safe. Safety is the first point. Because if people, there is always a chance of robbery or theft if we keep a huge amount at our home. And second thing is that the bank issues a interest. On our deposits. So that's why we used to keep our money, our amount, our whatever it is in the bank. And we can withdraw it as per our requirement from the bank. So it is known as demand deposit. We can withdraw this deposit as per our requirement, as per our demand. So it is known as demand deposits. Another process by which we can withdraw this amount, whatever we had kept it in the bank, by a check. By a check. That is the second option, that we can withdraw our money as per our demand by a check. So what is a check? A check is a simple paper and it instructs the bank to pay the amount, whatever is mentioned, whatever amount is mentioned on it, to the specific person. The name is also very essential. This is a form of check. You have to pay someone RK and the amount is mentioned at a certain column. And whatever the amount is written there, the bank pays the amount to the person whose name is mentioned here. That is known as check. So we can define that what is check. A check is a paper instructing the bank to pay a specific amount from the person's account. Person's account means from the person who is issuing the check to the bank, to the person in whose name the check has been made, the check has issued. First, who can issue the check? The depositor. He is issuing a check to whom? To any person. the name is mentioned there, and the bank issues that amount to that particular person. That is known as check. Now we will see that loan activities in bank. That is also one of the important function of a bank, that the bank issues a loan. Then you can ask that from where, what is the income, from where the bank earns money, what is the source of income of a bank. You can easily ask these questions. What is actually the source of earning of a bank? Just to know that,
Through depositors.
you should know whatever the deposits are made by us, whatever in a bank, 15% of that amount of the total deposits in a day, 15% of that amount they keeps it with them, and they issues 85%. 85% of the amount they issues as loan. Clear? The bank gives a certain percent of interest, just I told you, a certain percent of interest to the depositor, and it issues a loan. Against the loan, it charges a high rate of interest. Suppose the bank is giving a depositor 5% interest. Means if the depositor deposits 100 rupees, the bank is issuing only 5% interest on that. And the second thing, if the bank is issuing a loan to a borrower, it charges 10%. Suppose it is not the exact figure, just I am giving you as example. The bank charges 10% from the borrower. There is a difference, you can find out. 5% difference is there, and that difference is the main income of the bank. That is the income of the bank. So you can easily calculate from here. The bank is 85% of the deposits banks issues as loan in different type of loan. Personal loan, education loan, business loan, vehicle loan, or anything. In this way, the banks earn money. Now the loan activities of bank, the modern forms of money, currency, and deposits are closely linked in the working of modern banking system. Modern banking system, these are the work, currencies, deposits, loans, everything. The banking system is the main source of credit in Indian economy. The credit is that the bank, as the bank issues a loan to particular person for any purpose. That is known as also credit, or we can say loan. For all the activities actually in the business sector, the loan is a very important thing, so that the businessman or any person can return that amount in installment. That is called loan. The banks grant credit in the form of loans, but for this, banks use the major portion of the deposits which they accept from the public banks, charge a very high interest on the loans, then what they offer on deposits. That is given as per your book. Now we will see about the credit. that people need a huge amount of money for a firm or organization and to fulfill their other purpose for building their house or for any agricultural purpose, maybe to establish a business, start a business, for education, for the higher education also. It is now very good criteria. For the higher education, the student can take loan from bank. So these are the sections where the bank issues a loan. So in this situation, they obtained credit from different sources, which refers to an agreement in which the lender supplies the borrower either with money or goods or services, and in return the borrower promises to return the amount. The borrower promises to return the amount in installment or in as future payment. They promises, it is all the criteria, term and conditions you will see later on in your life, that before issuing a loan, the bank takes the oath that the borrower will return the loan amount in future. That is the promise from the borrower. How a bank issues a loan? Simply, we will apply, go in the bank and just ask for a loan, that for this purpose I want to loan. That is not a situation. Actually, there are lot of criteria, terms and conditions of the bank. First, they demands for a collateral. They demands for a collateral. Collateral means it is a simple asset that the borrower owns. Suppose I am a borrower and I am owing a house in Ranchi. Now I am in need of a sum of amount as loan from a bank. So in that case, I have to deposit the paper, ownership paper of the house, building that I own in the bank. Against that collateral, such type of documents are known as collaterals. Against that collateral, the bank will issue a loan to me. If I will not able to present any collateral to bank, they will not give me a loan, even a single penny. So collateral are the very important thing, especially to get a loan from a bank. So we can define that collateral, that it is an asset the borrower owns and uses as a guarantee to a lender, whoever is giving the money, until the loan is repaid. That paper will, the bank will keep that paper, that collateral at him till the amount, whatever it is taken out from the bank. After returning the amount, the bank will hand over it to the particular person. For that, the bank issues a certificate that is called NOC, non-objection certificate. So that is called collateral. So property such as land, deposits with banks, suppose anyone have a fixed deposit, livestock, These are the some examples of collateral used by borrowing. So collateral is the main thing that we have to, the borrower have to present in bank, deposit in bank to get a loan in an easy way. Otherwise, the bank will not issue any loan to the borrower. That is one of the conditions to get loan. Sometimes, especially in the agricultural sector or maybe industrial sector also, if a farmer takes loan from a bank and finally at the time of returning he is not able to return that amount due to any reason, in that case he becomes a debt trap, udhar mein jakad jana. While we will define it what is debt trap, if a person simply, as your book's language, if a person takes a loan but due to some unavoidable circumstances or reasons the person is not able to repay it to the bank, such situation is called debt trap. Again repeating, when the borrower is not able to repay the loan amount to the bank or to the lender, then the situation is known as debt trap. For any circumstances, it may be possible. In business, it may be instead of profit, he goes in loss. In agricultural sector, maybe he fails to earn something by selling the crop. In such a case, the person is not able to return the amount whatever he had taken from the bank. That situation is known as debt trap. Now the terms of credit, it comprises the details about interest rate, collateral, documentation requirement, and the mode of repayment. All the things comes under terms of credit. It simple means it can be differ from bank to bank. There are so many terms and conditions, like they will ask for some collaterals, they will ask to give some documents, necessary documents, what will be the mode of payment, when the borrower will return the amount, those term and condition, within how many time, how many years the borrower will return the amount, in how many installment the borrower is going to return it, and lot of conditions are kept before the borrower by the bank. Otherwise, they will not issue any amount to the borrower. So we can divide it, the loan, from where we get loan. There are two sectors who issues a loan. One is known as formal sector. One is known as formal sector loan, and second one is informal sector. Informal sector loan. These are the two sectors from where we can get a loan. Formal sector means it includes from banks and cooperatives. banks, and from formal sector means banks or cooperatives. Especially these two organizations, institutions, whatever the loan is issued by them, that comes under formal sector. Actually, the Reserve Bank of India, remember that it is the head institute of the banking sector of India. It supervises the functioning of all the banks and cooperatives. That how much the bank is issuing loan to the people, and the profit and loss account of a particular bank. Actually, this type of loan, who are the beneficial? Especially the rich people, rich households can avail the cheap loan from these formal sector of banks. And the second sector, the informal sector, it includes loans from the money lenders, from the traders, maybe some friends or relatives. Anyone can be. From where we get loan, there is a chances. Friends, come on, help me, I need 1 lakh rupees. I will return it you after few months or 1 year, something like that. So in informal sector, especially the money lender, anyone can be. Relatives, friends, or traders, anyone. So they includes loans, they issues loans to the borrower, and they comes under informal sector loan. They issues a loan in a very easy way, without or with few term and condition. It may be without term and condition. If the person is very close to you, then he can lend you an amount without any term and condition. Verbally, they can give you, lend you the loan. Or the term and conditions are very minimum, but the rate of interest maybe in some cases it is very high. If you are taking a loan, if a person is taking a loan from any of the relatives or friends, maybe the relative or friend will not charge any a single percent of interest. Maybe there are possibilities. Or if the money lender is issuing a loan to a particular person, then he can charge also a high rate of interest. Everything is possible in this sector, that is the informal sector loan. For this informal sector, there is no organization. The borrower or the giver, they knows each other. Or they are very familiar with each other. So the money lender or the trader or the relative, they issue a loan without term and condition. There is no fixed organization for this case. So this is about the formal sector loan and informal sector of loan. Actually, you can see informal sector of loan, especially in rural areas of our country, especially rural areas. The poor farmers, the poor peasants, the poor people, they take a loan from a money lender, in a high rate of interest. Especially, they are benefited from this sector. Now we will see self-help groups. Self-help group, SHG. It is SHG. Self-help group. This is a very new organization, you can say, new way of providing loans, especially to a poor person who is needy, just to organize in the rural, just to organize in the to a rural people poor, especially in this case, the women are benefited. But the question is how they gets this amount. What are the sources of their income? Actually, the members of a SHG usually belongs from a society or community or a particular village or their neighborhood. They meet together and they deposits, they saves regularly. Either it is monthly, they saves either monthly, weekly, or every day. A minimum sum amount. Suppose there are 100 members of one of the SHGs. They deposits monthly 100 rupees. 100 rupees each. So you can easily do that. They are depositing, their collection is 10,000 per month. Now, if a poor farmer just in the next month, he was in need to take out 5,000 rupees, then from this amount, the bank or the SHG, they issues him or her this amount. From their deposit, they gives it that amount. This is the actual work of SHG. The members of SHG can take such type of small loans from their organization, and just to do their work, whatever is needed. Especially in the villages now in these days, the women are conducting, controlling, organizing such type of organizations. It is a very useful organization actually, especially for the country like India, poor country like India. But these are the very good way to get loan. So these are the about something about money and loan.